As the Japanese Navy wanted at least 2 more battleships for the 8-8 plan, they would choose to build a pair of heavily modified Fuso-class battleships. Originally 4 Fusos were wanted, but the factors and finances forced Japan to order only a pair. The Issei would be the second pair. Issues with the Fusos would be changed in this new class. The hull was lengthened, the 2 amidships main gun turrets were placed on a superfire position, and more boilers as well as more armor would be added. The multiple twin gun turret layout compared to less triple turret layouts could give the battleship a good chance to fight multiple enemy ships. Even if a turret gets knocked out, 5 would still be ready to fire. Issei was ordered in April 1913 and started construction in May 1915. She was launched in November 1916 and completed in December 1917. Hyuga was laid down in May 1915, launched in January 1917 and commissioned in April 1918. Standard displacement was at 30,480 tons. Overall length was at 683 feet or 208.18 meters, beam at 94 feet or 28.65 meters, and draft at 29 feet 4 inches or 8.93 meters. 24 water tube boilers generated 45,000 shaft horsepower. 4 shafts connected to 2 geared steam turbine sets gave the ships the speed of 23 knots. Hyuga would actually achieve 24 knots on trials. Armament consisted of 6 twin 14-inch main guns and 6 twin turrets, 20 single 5.5-inch guns on casemates, 4 single 3-inch anti-aircraft guns, and 6 21-inch torpedo tubes, 3 on each side. Waterline belt armor was at 11.8 inches thick, deck would be at 3.3 inches, barbettes at 12 inches, gun turrets at 10 inches, conning tower at 12 inches, and bulkheads from 7.8 up to 8.8 inches. Issei had a small flying off deck for light biplanes on turret number 2, but this would be removed later on. In 1919, Hyuga's number 3 turret exploded and killed 11 crewmen and wounded another 25 during a gunnery exercise. In the same year, Hyuga collided and sank the schooner Hiromiya Maru, killing 2 men. Both ships helped survivors of the Kanto earthquake in September 1923. In the mid-1920s, they were brought back to dry docks for modernization. This would involve a new catapult, the pagoda superstructure would be fitted, and torpedo bulges would be placed. The older boilers would be replaced by newer ones, which almost doubled the power output, and the ships had a higher speed of around 25 knots. Main guns received an increasement in elevation and fire rate would also be improved. The 3-inch guns would be removed and replaced by the 5-inch dual-purpose guns in pairs. 25mm anti-aircraft guns were also added to increase the ship's air defense. Torpedo tubes and deck-mounted secondary guns would be removed. Displacement grew up to 42,675 tons at full load. On June 24th, Hyuga collided with the submarine I-4. They would sail on the Chinese coast as the war with China began after the Shanghai incident. A secondary refit would be made in 1940, which was made for a soon-to-be war with the United States. On December 8, 1941, the 2 battleships with the support of Nagato, Mutsu, and the light carrier Hosho sortied to the Bonin Islands as a distant support for the 1st Air Fleet attacking Pearl Harbor. Most Japanese battleships would unsuccessfully hunt for the American carriers after the Doodle raid. In May 1942, the left gun breech of Hyuga's turret number 5 exploded, killing 51 men. The pair would participate in the Aleutians campaign at about the same time as the Battle of Midway. Both received radar and refits and repairs, and in 1943, the 2 battleships would start conversions into hybrid carriers. The 2 rear turrets and all secondary battery would be removed, and a small hangar with a 70-meter-long flight deck was fitted. Catapults were also placed. 11 dive bombers and 11 recon aircraft would be the planned air group for each ship, but they never had a full hangar load. Anti-aircraft armament would also be improved with the addition of 2 pairs of 5-inch dual-purpose guns, multiple 25mm anti-aircraft guns, as well as 6 30-round rocket launchers. In October 1944, they took part in the Battle of Cape Engano. They had a small operational air group consisting of 6 D-4Y dive bombers and 16 E-16A aircraft. The 2 hybrid carriers would also be part of Ozawa's northern decoy force, consisting of Zuikaku, Zuiho, Chitose, and Chiyoda with escorting ships. While the 4 carriers and the Akizuki sank, Hyuga received live damage by a detonation of a small bomb on turret number 2. Issei would be attacked by around 80 aircraft on the 4th wave, but they failed to sink the ship. Only 1 bomb hit her near the port side catapult. Hyuga would be unsuccessfully attacked by American submarines later in the day. The 2 hybrids were loaded with troops and supplies to transport to the Philippines. They would be placed at Kure, where they would stay until the end of the war. In March, they would be attacked by Task Force 58, and on March 19th, Hyuga received 3 bombs, while Issei received 2. The 2 ships were used as floating anti-aircraft batteries, using 25mm guns, 5-inch guns, and rocket batteries. On the 24th of July, 5 bombs landed on Issei, and the Japanese ship started to sail by the bow, and Hyuga received 10 direct hits with multiple near misses. Many more bombs hit the 2 hybrids, and their hulls would be scrapped post-war.